How to make a mold for pouring metal. Years ago, I made these flasks out of metal so I can put in little parts. Here's a bigger one for bigger parts. Today I have a very large spearhead, so I need a very large mold. This one's going to be open from one side. I picked up this 2x3 at Home Depot. It's purple marked like you can see at the bottom, so it was 70% off. 90 cents for the board. Not too bad with this bad inflation we've got going on. I'll drill some pilot holes and then put screws in. I don't want the wood to split. The screws will allow me to change it if I need to. On one side, it has to be really flush, not so much on the other. The frame has to be rigid. I tried using a cardboard box, but you can see that it kind of flexes and the sand doesn't pack in. The templates also need to have draft all the way around. In other words, the edge is not straight down, it's drafted a little bit all the way around. That way, when I go to pull the wooden mold out, it'll come out easier. I'm going to place several spearheads in the same mold. These templates are made off of some of the largest spearheads ever found, being Kfar, Monash, Israel. Spearheads like this would be typical human. This right here, giant. This is sand mixed with oil, so I'm going to use rubber gloves because as I handle it, it gets so thick it takes forever to clean your hands. I'll start by breaking it up and evenly distribute it. If you need real fine resolution, you can sift all this stuff and make sure there's no clumps at all. In this case, if it's a little rough casting, doesn't matter. Break it up and kind of press down. This really needs to be compacted a lot, so I'm going to use a hammer. And this is why you need a strong frame. Keep filling it in and tamping it down. I've been using the same sand for about 25 years. Every once in a while, I'll refreshen it with some motor oil. I want the sand to be a little higher at the top. I'd like a little more sand so I can scrape it off the top. The more compact, the better. Use a straight edge to kind of clean things up. Fill in all those low spots and keep doing this. It's ready to flip over. As I was flipping it over, this just fell out, which is a good thing. You can see with all that pressure how clean that mold is. The other two I'm going to tap and see if I can loosen them up a little bit. I used a pick on this one, but you can see it's not quite as clean. Some stuff broke off into the mold. It'd be better if I had like a little screw or something that I could pull straight up. Pulling it from the side can cause some damage. Made a pretty good impression in there. If you see a little dust or anything in there, you can blow it out. Set everything up right in front of the oven. That way I can pull it right out of the oven and pour it. With the cardboard mold, it was not as sharp, so I was able to get this, which is about 5 pounds of copper. The second crucible of metal, you can see that little line there, so I've got a different strategy this time. The first time, I poured one crucible of copper, then went back into the oven, got the other one. The next pour, I bought another pair of pliers like this, so I can grab it and have the other one just waiting, and as soon as it's ready, then I'll pour the second. I've got a lot of this copper all cut up and ready to go. I'll place the copper into the crucible, go ahead and melt it, then add more copper so I can get more in each crucible. I have to make sure that the copper doesn't stick out too much or I won't be able to get it into the oven. If I find that the mold is not square, I can, on the go, I can take this jack and move it up and down to level the mold. I don't want to be pouring and find that the mold is off. This way I can move it up and down until everything is level and continue to pour. I also purchased some different gloves. Regular welding gloves are just too thin, so these are going to be a lot better, I'm hoping. A little intimidating pouring hot metal, but it is kind of fun.